Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Today it is right after the Naples Orchid Society Orchid Show and Sale, and I am back and recovering from that. So I just wanted to share some things with you that I'm pretty excited about. Some of them, so I entered these plants in the show, and I'm just pretty happy with the outcome of my entries into that show. But I'm happy about even if I wouldn't have won a blue ribbon here for this entry, I'm real happy that this plant is blooming for me. And the reason I'm happy is because this is one that I grew from seed. So I took it to the laboratory and flasked it, grew the plants, deflasked, and have been growing it for a little while outside. And this is my first bloom of Cattleya pumila that I grew from seed. This pumila, and there's actually, it's interesting, there's 3 plants that are in this pot. They're pretty small plants, but I was surprised to get this bloom out of it. And I looked at my notes on this, and the seeds from this plant were flasked less than 3.5 years ago. So this was real fast. You know, my philosophy on flasking is I like to, I'm really trying to do medium optimization, and I think I've been fairly successful doing that for the Cattleyas, which is what I grow. And what I try to get is big plants in flasks before I deflask. And this was pretty, I did this pretty early on in my flasking career here, and it still bloomed well within 3.5 years. I have some other plants that looks like they're putting on bloom spikes. I actually, a colleague showed me a bloom from another plant that came out of the same flasking that bloomed a little bit late for the meeting. And the blooms weren't quite as nice as this, but they still bloom. So you can get some early blooms on some of these plants, and the plants in here are doing well. The other thing that's interesting about this plant, this Cattleya pumila, number one, it bloomed really quickly, is that there's a lot of what seems to be striping on the leaves of the lot of plants that I got out of this seed capsule. And it's not as pronounced on these plants. There is a small plant that's in here that has some really unusual leaves that are forming. So this is something that you get from selfed plants, and it's something that I've seen here. So I have, again, I've got a small plant that has some really unusual striping on the leaves, but it's really small. And then I've got 2 larger plants in here, and the largest one put out this bloom spike that was just that was nice. And I got this blue ribbon. I don't know if this is for. So I had this plant entered in a couple of different categories at this meeting. So it was entered into the Cattleya of a certain size and color, but it was also entered into an area of that you can also enter into first bloom from seed, which this clearly is, and so but it doesn't. I'm happy that I got it. You know, it's a nice flower. It's not something that normally I would go for, and I may use it in some of my crosses because I like to. I'm starting to cross more with species than I used to. Okay, the other thing, I got to show you this plant right here. So this got a second place award on this plant, and it was a really nice. So this was in a category of, I think it was a large yellow flowering Cattleyas, and this is actually the second bloom from seed. So this is a Fred Clark hybrid, and this is, he just named this I think last year. This is called I think it's called Love Blushes. It is Schroeder's Love times William Farrell, and he likes using William Farrell in a lot of crosses. The flowers, they're nice. They start out a little bit, as the ones here, they start out a little bit dark yellow, and at the end they end up more of a pastel, a lighter yellow color. And I was worried that this plant wasn't going to present well because some of the sepals on the first group of blooms, I think there might have been some insect damage on them and they were curled back, and actually somebody at the meeting told me that I should cut some of the blooms off because they look so damaged. But what happened at the meeting, what happened at the show is that these blooms open, and there's, in addition to these two open bloom spikes that each has 3 flowers on them, there are an additional 3 bloom spikes that are not open yet. So here's one right here that's going to open, I think, sooner, but then there's some that are still in sheath. So this thing is going to have an extended blooming period, but for a plant this size to have 5 bloom spikes, that's pretty nice. So, you know, I like this plant. I've actually used it in some crosses. I have progeny from this. I took the first bloom and crossed it with something, and I'm pretty happy. A really striking red Cattleya with a yellow throat. So we'll see what happens from that. So I'm happy that these 2 entries both got ribbons. What I'm also happy about is this right here, which is my educational poster. So these societies have a number of different categories. And so this is my entrance into the educational poster category. And as you can tell, the title of the poster is Where Do Orchids Come From? And I had a lot of fun putting this together. So this shows, it shows on one side the, do they come from, are they natural over here, or do they come from a laboratory? Over here, maybe off the screen. But in the middle, I have the deflasking process that's outlined from capsule formation through initial flasking and seed germination, through then the gotta look at this. Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of capsules. I've got the the seeds with the guess with the question how many seeds are in there. But then I have on the bottom of the poster, it shows all the different stages of the seedling development. And then finally, I have over here is my first flower from seed that I got just last year. And the other thing that here is that I got this also. I got another ribbon for this, which was really, I had so much fun. I had fun growing these orchids, but I had a lot of fun putting the poster together. I used to do this a lot when I was on the faculty at the university. They were research posters. You know, they were 4 feet by 4 feet, and these are a lot smaller and they're fold out. So this is a little bit of a different scenario. But I still really liked putting it together. It was fun. I had all the images because, as you know, I like to do videos and collect images all the time. So I had all this stuff. It was really easy to throw together. And I also like trying to figure out where the individual images are placed in this poster. So it was really a pretty nice poster, I thought. And the nice thing about this poster is, whereas these the blooms on these plants are starting to fade and I can't enter them again, the poster, it's not fading. So I don't know what's proper about how many times I can use this. I'm not going to do this a lot. I enjoyed making the poster so much, kind of like I enjoy making these videos, that it's kind of fun for me to put these things together, change the theme, talk about something completely different. I'm doing a lot of fun stuff in the laboratory, and I think it's fun to put a poster like a video together showing some of the things that I'm doing in the laboratory. This is my first one, so it's fine, and it was fun. And the judges like it. I think what I didn't explain about the poster, what the judges liked, is that in addition to having this poster where I had it set up on a table, it was on a shelf. Below that, I had the plants. I had this. You can't see it right here, but I had this Maikai plant that had some seed capsules on it. And then I brought some flasks in and dishes, and then I had this is one of the progeny plants that I have that I'm growing. So I have this plant that was deflasked maybe a couple of months ago. So I had the whole range of things. In addition to presenting it on the poster, I actually brought those things in. And apparently, I wasn't there for the judging, but I had a colleague who was accompanied the American Orchid Society judging team, and apparently they really liked that aspect, actually having the poster, but then the plant material that is shown in the poster was actually on the table itself in front of the poster, and I think they appreciated that as well, which I had because I always have stuff like that. All right, so that's all I have. I'm looking forward to the next meeting. So the next show is the Gulf Coast Orchid Alliance show. That's in about a month, and I've got a lot of blooms coming on a lot of my other plants, and I'm looking forward to that show as well. All right, so I'm happy with these ribbons. I hope I'm not disappointed at the next show coming up, but we'll see how that goes. You just really never know. All right, so that's all I have for today. If you liked what you saw today and you want to keep on seeing my videos, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, so yay, got some ribbons, but you know, more than that, I love growing these orchids, and it's fun to share them with other people. All right, that's all I have for today. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and happy propagating.